So in this short video, I'll just quickly go over how you can set SimHub up to get bass shakers working with Gran Turismo 7. So first of all, I'll go over the basics of what you'll need to get this up and running. So first of all, we've got a PlayStation 5 with Gran Turismo 7. I believe this should work with PlayStation 4 as well, but I've only tested this myself with PlayStation 5. What you'll need is the PlayStation connected via a router to a computer. And the reason for this is that the PlayStation 5 needs to be on the same network as the other laptop or desktop PC running Windows. Now you'll need a router specifically and not just a switch, because you need to make sure that both these devices are on the same subnet and have a very similar IP address so that they can see each other across the network. Now, looking through the different forums, I have noticed some people have had issues getting their PlayStation 5 to be seen by their PC running the software, and I suspect that's probably just networking problems. So to make things simple, I would always go for the direct wired route to begin with, and then further down the line, once you're happy with the setup, you could potentially put this onto Wi-Fi and move it to a different room. But really, overall, for the most reliable solution, go wired. You're going to have the lowest latency, and that'll feed through to the dashboard information being the most up-to-date, and also the telemetry data that's used for the bass shakers will be lower latency as well. So just to sum up, you'll want your PlayStation 5 or PlayStation 4 on a wired network to a router, and a Windows PC with SimHub installed. Now I'm running version 8.2.1. As of 8.2.0, which was released just in December, that's when they added Gran Turismo 7 support. So if you're already running this and you're on an earlier version 8.2.0, you're going to need to upgrade. So just get the latest one. I think they've added a correction to tire temperatures anyway in the latest version. So get that installed on your PC. Now with this top setup here in blue, we're all on the same network. You will be able to run the telemetry dashboard information directly on your PC to make sure things are working. So I'd start off doing that. And then once you've got that working, you'll be able to run that same dashboard information on either a tablet or phone. Again, it has to be on the network, so if you've got Wi-Fi connected to the same router, you should be able to see this information. Once you're happy you've got this working, then I would move on to setting up the bass shakers, and I'll go over that very briefly in a minute. But in terms of hardware setup, you'll need a amp, and this particular one I'm using, I've covered in another video, which I'll leave a link for in the corner. I'm using this fantastically named Nobsound DAC and integrated amp. So what this does, this acts as a separate sound card that your PC can use in addition to its normal game audio sound card. So I get a few people ask me questions in my last video saying what happens to the game audio. Does it come through here? So no, what happens is your normal sound card operates as usual, and this acts as a separate additional sound card for the bass sound effects only. So this will be connected to your PC via a USB cable. There's a little USB socket here, and it also comes with a separate power pack which powers this little device. So people also wonder, how can this little thing power to bass shaker speakers, and the reason being it has a separate power supply going into it. So with this setup and this particular amp, I've got two bass shakers, one for the rear and one for the front of the rig. So the rear I've actually got directly under the seat, and the front bass shaker I've got attached directly underneath the pedal tray at the front here. So if you want to see how I've done it, just check out my other video that I've linked in the corner. I go into this in more detail. You'll need some speaker wire. So very simply, because this is another question people ask me, is how do you wire this up? Just simply the red terminal to red, black to black on one channel, and then same on the other channel. So this is a 2-channel amp for front and rear. If you want to go for a 4 bass shaker setup, then you'll need either another one of these, or ideally a 4-channel amp, so you can divert the corresponding sounds to each of the bass shakers. But for a very simple setup and cost-effective setup, I can highly recommend this. And as well as that, because the bass shakers are connected directly under the seat and under your feet, you don't need them cranked up so loud in order to feel them, compared to a 4-channel corner setup, where if you've got a bass shaker in each corner, you're going to have to turn the gain on each bass shaker up a little higher than you would compared to it being directly under your feet or underneath the bottom of your chair. So that's how that's set up. thought I'd just cover that off because I get a few people asking me questions about how to do that. So that's the basic hardware setup. I'll now jump over to SimHub, the application, to show you how I've got it set up for Gran Turismo 7. Now, if you're not familiar with SimHub, this software describes itself as being a modular multi-sim dashboard and tactical feedback software. So what this allows you to do is set up different virtual dashboards in applications such as OBS if you're a content creator, or if you have spare tablets or mobile devices, you can bring up in-game telemetry data on a dashboard. So with SimHub loaded up, you'll be presented with a list of supported games. Now, most of these are for PC games. You can see here Gran Turismo 7 and Gran Turismo Sport have been added, which are PlayStation exclusives. Now, if you click on the game that you want to run, so in this case I've clicked Gran Turismo 7, it actually shows the games in a pause state, so we know we've connected the game. I've got the game running and I'm on track, and I've just paused it just for this demo. If it's saying game not connected, then it could be that you've just not launched the game and you're on the track yet, or it could be that you've got a network problem. Now, if you've got a network problem, that's something you're going to have to diagnose, and it'll go beyond the scope of this video. But one problem some people have been having is with the ports, either on the Windows firewall or on their router, not connecting, not letting a particular port number through. If you see at the bottom here, it tells you which 2 ports are required for this to run, and that's 33739 and 33740. So if you want to check Windows is letting these through, all you want to do first of all is just go to the search box at the bottom and type firewall and bring up the Windows firewall, and then under inbound rules you should check that you've got a SimHub rule already set up. So you should have this SimHub setup rule. Now I believe with this being in here you shouldn't need to touch any of the ports, and I didn't need to configure anything. However, if you're still having issues, some people have, the way they've got around this is by setting a inbound and outbound rule in Windows. So all you need to do to fix this is right click there, click new rule, click port, go next, paste in the 2 ports that Gran Turismo 7 uses, make sure this is set to UDP, click next, click allow this connection, click next, leave all of these 3 ticked, and then enter a name, GT7, and then hit finish, and then do the same for outbound rules, and that should be it. So the next thing I'll do to check things are working is go to one of the dashboards under Dash Studio. So I'm using this Bosch one. If you just click it once, you can put it into windowed mode, and then the information on the screen here should correspond to the game. So I'll just put some example video footage of what this looks like, and keep in mind, if you want to, you could remove all of the telemetry data off the game and have this on a separate mobile phone or tablet underneath your screen, so you've got more real estate dedicated just to the game, and then have this as a virtual cockpit. Now if you want to see one of these dashboards on a tablet or a phone, for example, if you look in the top right hand corner here, there's open in phone or tablet. So if you just click that and scan that QR code, or type in this web address into the browser on your mobile device, this should then bring up the dash, and then you'll be able to have this set up on your rig. However, the main purpose of me showing you this today is to do with the haptics. So we'll close that there, and then we'll go over to Shake It Bass Shakers. Now, under sound output, you can see here I've got bass shakers configured, and that's that Nobsound amp that I mentioned earlier in the video. I've got this set up as a front rear setup. With the front I've got set to 70, just because the gain doesn't need to be as high going through the pedal deck compared to the seat. Now under Profile Manager you can set up a different profile for each game, so that's what I've done there. I've just created a new GT7 profile, and then you can go through all the effects and set them how you like. Now I've mentioned this before, in some respects less is more in terms of effects. You don't want too many vibrations going on, because it then makes it difficult to figure out which is which. So the ones I tend to go with is the gear shift. So whenever you change up and down gears, you can feel a slight thud in the rig, so that gives you that feeling that you've changed gears. I've currently got that on set to 65%. And then the other two, I've got the road impacts, I've got that set to 75%. Now I'll set this back to front rear because that's what my setup currently is. But if you had bass shakers on each corner, you'll be able to get different telemetry data coming through for each different corner. So I'll just leave that back to that. Road vibration is the other one. So the difference between these two, if you hit the curb hard or there's any impact on the car, you should feel it here. And on road vibration, any slight little bumps in the road, you should pick those up as well. And then the other two that I'm using is wheel lock and wheel slip. So you can add and remove these as you need. If there's any that have got like a little symbol here with a plug on, that means the game doesn't support it. So you may as well just remove it from the list. And then you can just have the effects that you want. So you can see the others that are also on here. So you could add G-force acceleration if you did so wish, but they're the ones I've gone to. So there you go, there's a quick whiz through on SimHub on how to set up the bass shakers. There you go, hope you found this video useful. Don't forget, if you did, leave a like. And if you want to see Gran Turismo live at launch on PlayStation VR 2, I'll be live streaming it on the 22nd. So check out the bell button below so you get notifications of when I go live. Alright, that's it. Till next time, bye for now.